Shalom, people. How are you? Trusting you're well in the Lord. It is good to have you today. This is Pastor Patricia Wanyonyi, and we are here with the Excellent Woman Movement. These are excellent girls by all standard and by all measure. We are so happy to come to you. And today we have an exciting conversation, right? Yes, a very exciting conversation. And we are so much prepared for you. We will like you just at the beginning of this, kindly share the broadcast. You can just locate the share button there and you can feel free to share. Also feel free to comment where you are watching us from. It will be so nice to know where you are, how you're connecting with us. And also in case you have any questions, we would like you to comment, I leave them on the comment section and I'll be able to answer before the end of the broadcast. I really love you so much. Now, as you know that part of the Excellent Woman Movement objective is to ensure that we are raising excellent wives. And raising an excellent wife begins by, first of all, raising an excellent woman. An excellent woman. And so this conversation is geared towards raising you to be an excellent woman who will ultimately become an excellent wife. We say that the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18 verse number 22 that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But you must not just stay at being a good wife. You must be found as being an excellent wife, as in Proverbs chapter 11 and verse number 1 to 2. And so we'll just be getting straight into the conversation. But I want to remind you of our year's theme. This is our year of Kingdom Culture 2026. Kingdom Culture 2026. And we're saying we are the kingdom, culture architects and the culture catalysts. And we are taking after the model Esther in the Bible, in the Word of God. So I believe that this conversation is also going to shape you in terms of your culture in dating, your culture in courtship, your culture in marriage. And we believe that you'll also catalyze it. So meaning we expect you to share, we expect you to nurture your girls, your sisters, your friends with this particular kind of information. And we believe that all of us will be changing the world in turn. So today I gave this conversation a topic called dating economy. So I don't know what comes to your mind, but I just use the language that is on the ground, inaitwa lugha ya mtaa, that huku ni soko. So economy is just that word for soko. And I know that we are believers and we know we are made in the image and likeness of God. But in this conversation today, I want you to imagine yourself as a product in an economy. Yeah, that this is an economy, dating is an economy, and you are a product in the economy. So how will you be perceived by your consumers? How will you be bought? What's your value? What's your, target price? Okay, as a product, how much would you want to be bought if you were a product? How would you want to be perceived if you were a product? Okay, so this is just for them. We are using it figuratively, but of course we know that we are men and women in the image and the likeness of God. But for today, we will be using that as our figurative language. Okay, so we will get straight into the conversation today without wasting time. But I just wanted all of us to, first of all, have a foundation that is unified in terms of what we believe dating is about. Dating is about. Now, I read statistics and they say that Christian girls are used to being told what to do and they don't know how to send themselves or do things without being told. And I think that really intrigued me because I wouldn't want my daughter to be in that category of Christian girls. I would want her to be a girl that knows what she ought to do in every season. Yeah, we said if there are sons of Issachar, we also have daughters of Issachar. Yeah, we know what we ought to do in every season. And the Bible says God blessed them to be at the command of their brethren. So for us to be culture architects and culture catalysts, we must be leaders, we must be agents, we must be on the front line. But this can only happen when we know what we ought to do in every season. In every season, okay? And so there is a season that we call dating. And this is a season when we take time to know someone that we consider suitable for marriage. This is just a time or a period. I've had some believers say, no, there is no dating for Christian girls, or this is only courtship. But I mean, if the world is perceiving dating as a time of knowing someone, and then considering them as a suitable partner for marriage, it cuts across. It cuts across. There are principles that are not in the Bible per se, but they are principles of the world that we live in. So we are of the world, but not. No, we are in the world, but not of the world. Yeah, so dating is a concept for anyone, as long as you're living in the world. It is a concept for you, whether you're Muslim, whether you're a Christian. You may have different terms for it, but I just want you to know it's a time that when we take to get to know someone and consider them as a suitable partner for marriage. Now, Proverbs 18, verse number 22, I will read it. The Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor and approval from the Lord. That is amplified. And obtains favor and approval from the Lord. So you know that you as a woman, your work is to be found. So in as much as we are in dating, we are not seeking. We are preparing to be found, okay? In dating, because now if you don't understand that, then you'll be saying, let me go and look for love. Yeah, love is not found. I mean, love is not to be sought for. Love finds you. Love finds you. You don't seek for love. Love finds you. Or your husband must find you. You don't go about seeking for them. Now, I will also just answer this very quickly, and then we can get into the conversation rolling. This period of dating, I would suggest that the right age to start dating, for me, this is for me, and I'll give my reasons, is 25 years and above. 25 years and above. Why? Because psychologically, when you study, it is said that people who are below 25 years of age are still in the season of identity formation. So, and also anatomically, they say that even the front part of the frontal lobe, closes up when you're 25 years. When you're 25 years, imagine that's when your entire brain is shutting up, so that now you can have mature thinking, mature decision making. So under 25, you're still in a place where your identity formation is not yet solid. It's not yet solid. That does not mean that you may not know who you are, but your identity formation is not very solid. So, and you need to know that everything in your life will hinge on your identity. Everything, whether it is your choice of marriage partner, whether it is your kind of business, career, where you will live. In fact, even where you will live, the kind of people you will attract as friends, it is hinged on your identity. Everything. So even the way you make choices, it's because of your identity. Now, if your identity is not formed, then you will settle for anything. You'll settle for anything. In fact, you will be settling for things that you imagine will give you an identity. So like you imagine me having an iPhone makes me look expensive and of a high class. Yet you're not. Yet you're not. Because now you don't have your identity. So you're finding identity from things. Oh, I am dating an athlete. You know, we are in the city of champions. So you are dating an athlete, and that gives you an identity. You want to be perceived in a certain way in the world or in the society. But you realize that every time your identity is not well formed, you will keep on looking for things to give you an identity. So if you're still in that space where, oh, I come from a rich background, I'm sorry, you have no identity. Only the kind of life you've been living has given you an identity. But here we are talking about you forming your own identity about who you are. And we're talking about stable thoughts. So meaning, what I go through does not change what I believe about myself. So a woman that has formed the identity so much, it doesn't matter the kind of mistake you've ever done. It doesn't matter who has ever left your life or who came into your life, which country you traveled to, what kind of car you own. It does not change who I think about myself. It does not change who I think about myself. So we are talking about stable thoughts about who you are. And here for a Christian girl, it's about who you are in Christ. It's about who you are in Christ. I challenge women and I tell them, if I ask you randomly, who are you? Who are you? What 3 things will you write down? I just want you to do it practically. Yeah. Don't even imagine it's something you're going to think about. Just right now. Who are you, by the way? Just write down. Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, this is your identity. Who are you? So it matters very, very much. Stable thoughts about what you believe. stable thoughts about what you believe about yourself. And here we are saying, with regards to Jesus Christ, or with regards to what Jesus has done for you. So I don't expect you to tell me, I am a nurse, I am a teacher, I'm a businesswoman, I am a wife, I am what do women say? Oh, I'm a mother. No, that is what you do. Yeah, we can call it functional identity, right? But that is not who you are. Who you are is based on what Jesus has done for you, or what God says about you. So it's easy to find a man. If you ask a man, who are you? A man will easily tell you, I'm a man of God. Yes, I am a believer in Christ. I am a man, I am a co-heir with Christ. Or I am a man of faith. But a woman will start by what she does. Because sometimes we find our identity on what we do. But we are saying here, identity must be on what Christ has done for you. This is the position you stand with in Christ. So I expect you to say, like, I'm an excellent woman, I'm a royal priesthood, I'm a chosen nation, I'm a peculiar person. You know, those identity, I'm a co-heir with Christ. Everything, I'm the light of the world. I'm a city that is set upon the hill. You know, I am Beulah. I am a fruitful vine. I mean, it is what Jesus Christ has done for you. That is your identity. And it must be so solid that nothing can change. It doesn't matter what sickness I go through. It doesn't matter what kind of mess, what kind of pit I fall into. It does not change that I am Joseph and I am a prime minister. It didn't matter if I went to prison or not. I am Joseph. And I tell you, when you read the book of Ruth, when Ruth was at the feet of Boaz, and Boaz asked Ruth, so who are you? She did not say, I am a maid servant. You know, I am the woman who was working on your field. She said, I am Ruth. I am Ruth. Like, she was so solid in her identity that it is not what. In fact, at her kwanza kusema, you know, I'm a widow. I'm a widow. Or I'm a barren woman. I'm a woman with infertility. Come on. She said, I am Ruth. I am Ruth. And that is why now when Boaz went into the villages, the Bible says that all the townsmen, they said that Ruth is an excellent woman. I told you, when a man is marrying a woman, is marrying a trophy woman. So he is careful what are other men in the town saying about this woman. And that could be the main reason as to why maybe Ruth was married. Because the men that were with Boaz, they kept on saying, that woman is an excellent woman. And so even us calling ourselves excellent women is based on the identity we have in 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse number 9. That we have been called forth out of darkness into his marvelous light to show forth the excellencies of God. That is why I'm not scared with your ugly story. Because for you to really shine light, you must be from a very dark space. Very dark space. So the darker your space, the more light you will shine. And that's the only confidence you can have as an excellent woman, okay? Now, we will continue in that, but I also want to explain this and tell you that dating period should be between 1.5 years to 3 years. My recommendation. I'm a culture architect and a culture catalyst. And so I don't want to mince words. I don't want to tell you, no, it depends on you. No, we are shaping the culture. And we are saying 1.5 years to 3 years. And there are very many psychological reasons. Maybe in the other session, I will be explaining why. But in 1.5 years, you literally do not know this person before 1.5 years, you don't know this person very well. You don't know this person very well unless you're at a season of your life where you are such an adult and you have more time to spend together until you don't need that kind of time to know someone. You know, by the time you are 40, when someone just introduces their name and says the first word, you can get an analysis of who they are, their intention. But by 25, maybe after a few days or more, that's when you'll be realized, it looks like this guy is after this, you understand? But at a certain age, because of the experience, encounter, and exposure, you can easily pick it up, what someone, who someone is and what they want. But we are saying at this particular stage, because we are saying it's 25, between 25, we are saying 1.5 years is enough time to collect data, because dating is about collecting data. So 1.5 years, this is not the time you are spending, to try sex, or are you good in bed, or, I must be sure if you can satisfy me. I'm telling you, when you go that direction, you'll be losing the direction. So at least 1.5 years, up to 3 years. And we are saying up to 3 years. Why? Because if you again extend, it can become boring. Or you will figure out like, now we know each other very much. Let's now just start living together. You know, you can even make your own personal decisions because now it becomes routine. And after 3 years, they say after every 3 years, you always need a new challenge. So after every 3 years, make sure even you at a personal level, you're challenging yourself. You're challenging yourself. Take a new challenge. After 3 years, maybe start a new business. After 3 years, maybe meet new people. After 3 years, maybe get a new degree or master into something, educate yourself. So after every 3 years, ensure that you're challenging yourself. Very, very important. Now, if you are confident that you have known this person in less than a year and you're ready to get married, then that's okay. But at least our recommendation is 1.5 up to 3 years of age. That's very important. Now, we get back to this identity very shortly. Now, if you want to influence someone very quickly, you influence someone through your authentic self. You must present your authentic self when you want to influence anyone. Likewise, in dating, bring your authentic self on the table. When you don't bring your authentic self, dating becomes performance. Dating becomes performance. But when you bring your authentic self, dating becomes purpose. It is purpose driven. Authentic self. So you must always bring your authentic self, like your true identity. Don't copy the Instagram influencer you follow. Yeah, you don't have to copy Pastor Patricia. You may have been influenced by Pastor Patricia, but you don't have to be Pastor Patricia in your dating. Bring your authentic self, meaning have authentic conversations, look authentically. Like we want to, you know, what you do to obtain is what you do to maintain. So if you start like this and you can't keep it up, it means it was not your authentic self. Yeah. So don't go about lying to this man that you're this excellent woman and you have your nails on point, your breath on point, and then when the man comes into the house, they realize, nimebadilishiwa. You know, yeah, bring your authentic self. If you say you cook well, don't go and buy samosas at Gisty and then bring to the man and say you cooked it, because he will ask, I want you to teach me how to make those nice samosa. If you don't bring your authentic self, you might easily, so it becomes performance when you're not authentic in dating. But when you are authentic, it becomes purpose driven. Now, I want us to demystify the will of God. What is this, the will of God in dating, honestly? What is the will of God? Because we have been taught as Christian girls that we must date in the will of God, marry in the will of God. But really, what is really the will of God? What is really the will of God? Is there someone who would like to, maybe you have this understanding of what the will of God is, and you just think that you should, you can share with us? Is there someone? Is there someone who is confident and they're sure that I have understood what the will of God means, and this is how it applies in your context? Anyone? Okay. So we can just demystify as we move on. But the will of God, of course, people assume that the will of God means that there is a specific person that God has for you. And if you miss that person, so imagine if that is how life was. Imagine if that is how life was. So I, Patricia, miss out on the will of God and marries James. So it means that even James has missed out on the will of God, because the person James was supposed to marry, so that person has already missed out the will of God. And the person that person will marry has also missed the will of God. So basically we are a human race that is already fallen out of the will of God. Do you understand? So the will of God is not necessarily that there is one person meant for you, but there is a kind of person for you. There is a kind of person for you. It is not that there is one person meant for you, but there is a kind of person that is meant for you. So this kind of person is what I want us to observe. So this is someone who will fit into God's will for you. This is someone who will fit into God's will for you. So they're just living their life. They're so happy. And they realize that they are liking you, that you look like this kind of person who can be a best team player in this journey of life. And then they get to understand what the will of God is for you, and they align. So it is submission. So the man is submitting to the will of God for you, and you two are submitting to God's will for you. I believe all of us here, if we started with our desires since we were 8 years old of who you are going to marry, I am sure I am sure nobody will be here in Eldoret at such a time as this. Yeah, because all of us wanted to be president's wife. We wanted to be the royal. Yeah, I mean, that's me. Prince, who married? It's Catherine. Catherine, it's Kathleen or Catherine? Prince William. Yeah, Kathleen should be my, should be me. You understand? So, it starts like that. It's a desire. We go to, but when we go through life, and we get through our experiences, our encounters and exposure, then you realize that we are always changing desires in different seasons. Yeah, even to just normal passions. Like the things you used to like when you were a teenager, maybe are not things you like right now. Yeah, because of the exposures, encounters, and experiences of life. So it's likewise. So you need to know that this person, who is a kind of person for you, is someone who has decided to fit into God's will for you. So they align with God's will for you. Meaning that in season and out of season, they choose that I will still fit in God's will for you. So we started with Reverend James. He never told me we'll never open a church. He never told me, but I knew he was a pastor and he was preaching. And I was so happy. We were in the comfort zone. We will go to church and he will minister to young people. But then God calls him and tells him, now open a church. So me, as a person who has chosen to be married to him, for me to fit in his life as a perfect, wife, I have to submit to God's will for him for that season. And if today he tells me, now, baby, we are going to Canada, I'm telling you, Mimi, I will pack. Yeah, I will pack. I will pack and go. Why? I have to consistently fit into God's will for his life in every season. That's what we call perfect will of God. Perfect will of God. So meaning, you can start with someone in the perfect will of God. You can start with someone in the will of God and then also fall out of the will of God. Where you just literally decide, for this season, I'm not cooperating with God's will for you. In fact, I am the antagonist of God's will for you. So many divorces that have happened in the church may not necessarily mean that these people did not begin well or that marriage was not meant to be. No, it just means that people did not nurture the will of God. Because when the will of God is not nurtured through seasons, it can suffer in the shadows of neglect. It can wither. So the will of God must be nurtured in every season. You as a woman and you as a man, if you're watching us today, you must know that consistently I will nurture the will of God concerning my spouse in every season. I will nurture so that I become a suitable helper or a perfect companion for their life. So here you can also note down that the will of God is progressive. Is progressive. This is why Romans 12 verse number 1 says, it is good, acceptable, and perfect. The will of God is progressive. It is good, acceptable, and perfect. All relationships will always begin from a place of good. That's why you find a good wife. Yeah, you finds a good thing. So it always begins with good. But at least after 10 years like us, you must be finding us at a perfect will. Meaning, I should be even much more happier that I married this man. Yeah, because in every season I have been consistently submitting to God's will for him, and he has been submitting to God's will for me. Do you now understand? Yeah, so that is what we mean. Now, is there any question before we move forward? I hope I've helped someone. I've helped someone. Yeah. So, if God, you see, God himself as a perfect father in our lives, he said, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. He said it. He did not mince his word. He said, choose life. Like Jesus. If you don't come through Jesus, you guys will never inherit the kingdom of God. So why will God, as a good father, hide your perfect spouse for you? Why will he hide? Why will he make it so mystical? Why will he make it so hard and tough for you? Yet, if he did not hide his own son Jesus and say, I am the way, I am the truth and the life. So follow Jesus. Why would he complicate it? So God, as a good father, he has made it simple for you. He also wants you to have adventure. He also believes, in fact, God is a good investor. He invests and then expects you to be a good steward. So he knows these feelings I have placed in you, these thoughts you have, this maturity you have in the word, this Holy Spirit I have invested in you is able to help you make any decision you want. So you can marry anybody you want as long as they have fit in God's will for you. So don't go about just looking at it, there is this one man. Okay, let me ask you. How many of you dated someone the first time and you knew I'm going to marry this person? Where are they now? Yeah. Where are they now? So does it mean that you are out of God's will? You understand? Yeah, so there is not one person for you, but there is a kind of person for you. And this kind of person is someone who decides to fit into God's will for you. Now, anybody who misses out on this kind of person ultimately will shrink in life. Any woman that misses out on marrying the person that is fitting into God's will for their life will shrink in life. Now, this is how shrinking is in a woman. So you hate being there, but you can't leave because you already made the choice. You already have children. So for me, in fact, I want to congratulate girls who walked away from relationships, even when you had a child with that person, after knowing that, no, this is not God's will for me. Yes, I have a child with you, but I am not shrinking into this situation, into this circumstance. I will still pursue God's will, even with this baggage, or even with this circumstance. So for me, I will call out women. As a woman minister, I am telling you the truth. I will call you out of any relationship that is, you believe it is not God's will for you. Don't stick in there. Don't stick in there. So whether you have a child with that person, whether you have lived 10 years, I'm telling you, you can always find the will of God if you want. Now, this is the reason as to why many women come into life and say, so who will want me after having 3 kids? Who will want me? So let me tell you, there are people who will want you even with 5 kids. But you have shrunk into your situation. You have shrunk into the circumstance you are in. So the world, there is where is the place for these women who have children and are single? There is a big place for you. You are just part of the 8 billion people who are so significant, who have a big destiny, who have purpose, who can get married well, and who can enjoy marriage. Enjoy marriage, not even again. Just enjoy marriage as if you're starting. Yeah, as if nothing has ever happened. You understand? So don't shrink into your situation. Don't shrink into what has happened to you. Now, anything that you are doing as a woman and you hate it, you are shrinking into it. You hate it. You are shrinking into it. Even if it is a job and a career, you hate it, but you can't leave it. You are shrinking into it. So ni wewe umejireduce. You know, I can say, like you know, you want to be this international relation person, officer maybe in a different country, and you're negotiating business, you're negotiating, you know, conversations between your country and the other country. But at this season of your life, for income, you are selling samosa and chapati. So I am not a chapati and samosa vendor. This is an international relation person. And this platform I have in is nurturing my gift. As I'm interacting and selling samosa with people, getting to interact with them, you know, getting to understand their issues, trying to even solve their issues. So it's beyond samosa. It is now learning the skill. So by the time you get it, and that's why God never throws people up. He lifts people up. He lifts people up. It is from one level to another. Stephen began as a waiter on tables. When you read Acts chapter 6, a waiter on tables. But by the time he's dying, he's an apostle of Jesus Christ. An apostle of Jesus Christ. So nobody, God does not throw people up. He lifts people up. So in every season that you're in any level that you're in, just know you are not that. But you can choose to shrink into that and say, sasa mimi sina kitu ya kufanya, mimi sijasoma, mimi sijaenda shule, sasa mimi tu itabidi nifanye hii kazi. You're shrinking. You're shrinking. And you need to know that that when I say that, water finds its own level. Water finds its own level in life. So life inakuwa tu ni kama ni, it's a vacuum space. And if you're water, you will find your own level. You'll find your own level. So ni wewe mwenyewe ndio utaamua, me I will fit here, or I will fit here, or I will fit here. Nobody will ever put you there. You put yourself in that level. So even the level you are in right now, you have placed yourself there. I am very keen on how women describe themselves and talk about themselves. One of the things that will make me even just never keep you in my company is when you hate yourself. Yeah, because that's contagious. It's contagious. And that means you don't love yourself. You can't even love me genuinely. You can't love me genuinely. Yeah, because we are getting into the next level with that conversation. But I just want you to tell you, anything you're doing that you hate, stop it, because you're shrinking. And you'll be frustrated in that place. Very much frustrated. I would rather say, at this season of my life, I am washing clothes, but I am not this. I am this. So you are always growing into where you're supposed to be. Now, number two, we have demystified the will of God, and you have said we cannot shrink. So number two, I want us to talk about the question of, you must ask yourself, okay, you want to date, but are you ready to be a wife? Because you're not just here to meet people. You're not just here to pass time. You're here purposefully. Because after 25, you're saying maybe you're looking into marriage. And so I want us to focus on the gift of preparedness. The gift of preparedness. So me as a woman, am I prepared to be a wife? Am I prepared to be a wife? So don't enter a relationship because you are lonely. Lonely just means that you actually have no purpose. You cannot keep up with yourself. Yeah, you hate yourself, you've made mistakes, you are unlearned, you are unschooled. So basically you are looking for validation from someone or a relationship. But we are saying here, we are looking and searching for love from a place of preparedness. Like I feel in this season of my life, I am prepared to be someone's wife. Or I feel like I have so much abundance that I am ready to share. Because love is not found from a place of emptiness. It is found from a place of fullness. That's what we talked about. It finds you at a place of fullness and not emptiness. So if you say I'm empty, so I don't have money, I don't have education, so I need someone to come and give me all this. There is no person who can do that for you. Come on, there is no, it's even unfair for that person. It's very unfair for that person. So Funke says what? Yeah, your husband is not El Shaddai, or a man is not El Shaddai, or else he will die. Yeah, he shall die. He shall die. You understand? So you are looking, you are being found, or you are getting into a relationship from a place of overflow. Like I have so much in me that I cannot keep it to myself. I need to share with someone. So I have so much love that I need to share. So I did not come into Jemo's life because I was looking for love. No, I have so much love I want to share with him. Likewise. So that's how now we serve each other in marriage. I have so much joy that I just want to share with you. You know, I have so much peace that I want to share with you. So you get into a relationship because you are prepared for it. So this is where anyone who is going to enter into a relationship or marriage, you must make this your statement that I became a wife of so and so because I was ready to be one. If you are not yet there, don't get married. I am becoming the wife of so and so because I am ready to be one. I am ready to be one. If you are not yet there, yeah, you don't have to get into the relationship. Now, I think, Melody, you are the one who was talking about the other day when I was teaching and saying sometimes women marry their trauma and not, they marry their trauma because there is something that psychologists have found to be called trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is where you have deficits in life. So there are things you lacked growing up. There are things you have lost in life, maybe your self-esteem through the experiences. And so you are looking for someone to fit in or to fill these spaces. And most of the time, you will always be attracted to someone who has the same deficit with you. Yeah, in psychology, it is not like poles attract. It is actually the like poles attract. Like poles. So the experiences you've gone through will make you attract someone with the same experience. Ndio maana wanasemanga someone who is lustful easily finds another lustful person. Yeah. So like poles attract. Now you must be very careful because if you are not full as a woman, then you will be looking for from the place of deficits, and you're most likely to marry someone with the same deficits. So you marry, if you're an anxious person, you've not dealt with it, you will marry an anxious person. If you are a woman that is weak in terms of sexually, then you are most likely to marry a man who is weak sexually. Yeah, it's called trauma bonding. Trauma bonding. So you must be careful. So if you are not searching for love from a place of fullness, you are most likely to get into trauma bonding. And that's what people say, I can't find my type, because your type is your trauma. Your type is your trauma. We have said there is a kind of person for you and not a type for you. Yeah, there is a kind of person for you and not a type. So up to there, any question before we move on?
There is a place you said that getting period should be around 1.5 years to 3 years.
Yeah.
Now in this 1.5 to 3 years, but see, let's be honest,
Yeah.
this happened. We can, but never quite tempted to go to the extreme. How are we supposed to carry ourselves so that we can maintain that purity, doing that? Do 3 years now or be like me?
Yeah. Okay. So I understand what you're talking about, but you're talking about from a place of carnality. Carnality in the sense that if right now I'm seated here and a man walks here and he's six-pack and is so handsome and is tall, and I'm attracted to him, it means I have no power. I have no power, to resist the temptation. I must flow or get into the flow, you understand? That's actually what you're trying to talk about. But we're talking about here, you are dating with knowledge. So you are equipped and you are empowered and you know exactly. So number one, we all know the first 6 months, they're the time of infatuation. So it is where you are working with adrenaline. Yeah, you're working with adrenaline and the dopamines in your head. Yeah, so you are so excited. The chemicals are running all over. Why? Because it is normal. And God did that because chemistry, without chemistry as the first phase of a relationship, there can never be bonding. There can never be bonding. So that is why now the first law of attraction is when now there is that aspect of chemistry. Chemistry, like you so much like this person. So the first 6 months, we are saying you must learn how to engage in terms of conversation more than body. Because if you as a woman, you are not competent enough to engage a man in the first 6 months, the only thing you'll be bringing to your table is your body. That's what we are talking about. The only thing you'll be bringing to the table is your body. But we are saying you must be competent. And one of the ways I know you have high emotional intelligence is when, if you are a woman who is able to shift a man's emotions from your body to your mind. Yeah. So there is a difference between a man's weakness and a man's wickedness. Mostly women are the stronger ones in any relationship. And interestingly, they say that even if a man wants to sleep with you, a man may want to sleep with you, but expects you not to allow him to sleep with you. Yes. Yeah. Because if you allow him to sleep with you, then your value just gets here, especially outside marriage. You immediately just gets here. It just gets here. Unashuka tu hivi kama thermometer. But women are always the stronger ones in a relationship. They are even in marriage, mostly. By the time a woman is cheating, honestly, umemfikisha, umempush in a corner. Yeah? But mostly women are the stronger ones in marriage. So we expect you to be emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent, to be able to shift a man's thoughts from your body, from sex to now. Engagement. Yeah, engagement. That's why you must be skilled in. By the way, what are we going to talk about? Yes, we are meeting. What are we talking about? And also find activities that you can do together that must not necessarily always lead you towards sex. There is so much to do, and you'll realize even in marriage, most of these things, they just happen at night when you're together because people are so busy. And even not every night, the more you grow, like for now, as past 10 years, come on, you just realize, okay, I'm not even encouraging couples that you should not have sex frequently, but you realize there is so much to be done until sex is not the main thing anymore. Yeah, there is so much to be done. So you imagine if you have not created friendship, you have not created an avenue of good conversations, having fun that is not sexually leading. So trust me, that marriage will be very boring. Even that relationship. Yeah, so we cannot fit into that ideology that, come on, yes, after, kwani, are you just dating because of sex only? There's so much to know about someone. So much that you cannot just say only sex. Only sex. And you'll realize after 6 months, there's no pressure. You just fit in. Mambo tu inakuwa sawa. So we can continue now. I was talking about your preparedness for marriage. Am I ready to be a wife? You must ask yourself. So you cannot just say, I'm waiting. In your waiting, what exactly are you doing? And you've said, number one, we are dealing with any emotional baggage. Emotional baggage. So whatever the last man did for you, let not the next man pay for it. You cannot come on the table and say, now me, I don't trust men, I have an issue, I'm closed up. Why? Because the last man I was in a relationship with. Nowadays, men who are exposed, they even ask women, what is your therapy history? Some of you want to marry people outside the nation of Kenya. You will be asked, what's your therapy history? And if you don't have a therapy history, no man will marry you. Yeah, they say, because I don't want to come and start dealing with the baggage of your childhood, the last man in your life, your divorce, CG, your baby daddy, they don't want those things. People now have taken responsibility of healing themselves from any trauma. So they also want you to take that responsibility. By the time you're coming, it's a new foundation. It's a new foundation. So you must take responsibility of healing yourself, anything. And the easiest way for me, I heal myself from anything. I just observe my life. As I was talking to you the other time and telling you, ask yourself a question. How am I feeling now about this? So if I feel I am insecure about something, then I want to get the root cause. Yeah. Then I realize, this root cause is because of this experience that happened. Then I realize there is a trauma in me and I must deal with it. Yeah. Why are you not confident about yourself? Every baby is confident about themselves. A baby can come and take money from you, food from you, without apology. Like, we are so confident when you're growing. So what happened to you? Something must have happened and killed your ego, killed your self-esteem. Deal with that thing. Deal with that thing. If you missed out on education, deal with it. Deal with it. Either go back to school or decide, I may not have this tertiary education, but I will skill myself. I'll skill myself. I'll have this secondary knowledge. I'll read books, or I will master a skill that will make me competent even in the marketplace. Yeah. If, for example, you went through an issue like you got pregnant and you are not married, yeah, it deals with your esteem. Even it affects how you show up in life, right? It affects in one way or another. It affects how you show up in life. But if you don't deal with it, you will be intimidated. So I like when the other conversation we had with Jesse said, I am not what I went through. There is a difference between what I have gone through and who I am. Because my identity is solid. I have consistent thoughts about myself that nothing that I go through changes. So that's what we are talking about. So you must take the responsibility of healing yourself. Let me tell you, if you're carrying any baggage, you hate yourself, you hate your marriage, you hate your life, you hate everything you're doing, you better start healing yourself, because the next man will pay for it. Now, you must also watch your preparedness in terms of, am I ready to follow? Because we as women, when we get into marriage, we are going to be led. We are getting into leadership. Someone is leading us. So are you prepared to follow? And this is where we'll be answering the question of vision. So you meet this particular man in life. So the man has not shared with you any of his plans, any of his vision. And you are still confident that this is a marriage partner for me. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. I feel like everybody also must just take the responsibility of knowing what they want in life, where they want to go in life, and be able to communicate well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Communicate well, because I'm not ready to give you my life, yet you even don't know where your life is going. Yeah. So that one for me, it's a deal breaker. Whether I have chemistry with you, whether you have enough money, that one is a deal breaker. Whether you are a prayer warrior, yeah, you chase out demons out of people, you have no vision of your life, I'm out of there. Yeah. So, hapo hivyo ndio nilikuwa nasema, don't shrink. Don't shrink into someone who has no clear vision of their life. But again, we must be wise in how we make our men, share their vision to us. Don't make it like a demand. Our pastor, Reverend Jess has written a book, Think Before You Wink, and I think it has dating questions. Is it 35 questions to ask? So you cannot go like you have that book there and you are like writing a thesis from those questions. But you can be competent enough in such a way that you can know even how to bring up the topic. Yeah, the topic. Like, what excites you in this season of your life? You know, instead of just saying, how are you? If you tell me how are you, I'll tell you I'm fine. But if I ask you, what is exciting today? So I'll get you to a place of opening up and even sharing with me details that I didn't even ask for. You understand? So when you meet a man, you don't just meet and then tell them, hey, you tell me what's your vision. No, like, what are you working on in this season of your life? Yeah, and in the next 5 years, like, where would you want to be? You know, it's a different way of just asking what's the vision of your life. Yes. And then when a man is sharing their vision, don't intimidate them with your own and say, me. Me. In the next 10 years, you know, no. Don't intimidate them. In fact, you must be skilled as well in feeding a man's ego. Very skilled as a woman in feeding a man's ego. Like, sometimes my husband would explain to me the kind of vision he has, and I know where, God, I know the incapacitations of this man, but Holy Spirit, give me grace to believe in him. So I will be fueling it, but deep inside I'm like, God, have mercy. Have mercy on him. You understand? But I cannot intimidate him. Yeah, I must be a master in feeling, because when you kill a man's ego, you have no man. You have no man. You have just a caricature. You have like a structure. You must feed and fuel your man's ego, even in the lowest season. And that has been the greatest test of submission, even in my life. Like, to still believe in his vision, even when he's not doing well. Even when I know he's failing, but I still believe in that vision. So that is the greatest test of submission and following. Yeah. Otherwise, in different seasons, we can easily shift shadows. Yeah, shift shadows. So that's very, very important. Now, I want to answer different questions, but I will respond to one of the questions we had as we were beginning the broadcast. And Charity, you asked about, so you have already been staying maybe with a man for some time, and it looks like you're in marriage, but you can't call it marriage because it's not, nothing is official. Your parents, you know, have not been honored. He's never come home. Maybe your pastors are not aware. You've not done it officially on the altar. So what happens? So I will first of all answer to girls who are not yet in that situation, and then I answer for the girls who are in that situation. So number one, for the girls who are not in that situation, let me tell you, the only chance you have to negotiate with a man is before he takes you into his house or before you give him your body. That's the only time you can negotiate with anything. After that, yeah, hauna nini chance ya negotiate anything. So most men that have not yet gotten your body, they have not yet won over you, or you are not living with them, if you tell them, no, you must come and see my parents, they will do anything. In fact, they'll be gathering next month. They'll be looking for vehicles. Wataanzisha committee, watachangiana na watakuja kwenu. But once you are in that house, I have counseled many women, and many women have told me, amekata. Why? Because you missed out on your negotiation. So I cannot go get this phone, pay 20,000 for this phone, and then start negotiating and tell them, no, return 3,000, make it 17,000. I've given you 20,000. Give me back 10,000. Make this 10,000. The product is already bought. Yeah, I already have everything. So when I was telling you women negotiate with their brains and body, it's so true. Once a man has power over your body, you have willingly given your body to him. You have no power of negotiation anymore. So anything you want done, do it before you give your body. You give your body. So that's why most women say, oh, I'm the prize, I'm the prize. It is worldly view of it, but that's true. That's true. You are the prize. Once I have you, everything is settled. The down payment, the full payment, it's already there. What else do you expect from me? So that's why it becomes so hard for a woman to start afresh when she has already gotten into it. you can't, especially if you already have even children with this man. It becomes so hard. But now, once you are in it and you are seeking, you're looking at it and you're like, no, I want to formalize this thing, then that's when you involve third parties. This could either be parents or mentors or pastors. Those are the only people that can help you. Otherwise, you can't fight your own battle. It's done. Once a woman is in it, you're done. There is no I wish I could say there was a way, but there is no way for you. You can't speak for yourself anymore. You see, for me right now, if anything happens to me and I go back home, my parents, my pastors, the friends of my husband, they will come and say, this thing was official, you paid dowry, this is your wife. Ebu fanyeni vitu mambo ikwe sawa. Lakini now in that situation, there is nobody to fight for you. Even your parents are supporting. No, leave that person because they are not honored. Yeah, and they don't feel like you are rightfully his. Yeah, so there will be no one to speak for you. And also, God in heaven has no covenant to bank on. You are a child of God, yes, he's a child of God, but there is no covenant to keep God also. To keep God accountable for this marriage. Akuna. So that's why don't lose your chance, women. Don't lose your chance. Whether you are dating someone already from a failed marriage or you already have a child with someone else, don't lose your negotiation time. Dating time, negotiate for everything. Everything. If you lose it, it's gone. That's it. So is there any question before we move on?
I have a question, but now this is back on the will of God. So, this person is the will of God for you, fits perfectly, but now the issue is not anything to do with the God factor.
Yes.
Maybe personality mismatch.
Yes.
For example.
Yeah.
You're such a sanguine, and he's such an introvert.
Yeah.
There's no problem about it in terms of not God doing for me. You ascertain that it's the will of God for me. But sometimes that personality mismatch can sometimes be a problem because the sanguine feels, wow, this guy is boring. And the guy feels like, wow, this chick is so loud. And sometimes you kind of feel like your mismatch, you're not so sure if actually they don't complement that kind of situation.
What do you do? Actually, that's the best kind of situation. Yeah, you cannot quit on someone's personality. Yeah. In fact, that's why God allowed us never to marry someone that we have the same personality with. Yeah, no, because you will be clashing at some point. So what you need to do is just to learn what are some of the fun things that this kind of personality loves, enjoys, how do they handle relationships, how do they behave, maybe what conversations will intrigue them. Likewise, pia yeye hajue on your end, and then you blend together, because I feel like it will be so boring the most, even you marrying someone with the same personality, same personality with you. So God allows that kind of blend so that we bring fun into this other personality, and this personality can also experience this other personality. But also you need to know that personalities shift with seasons as well. So you might find this man here as a melancholic person, just kept to himself, very meticulous in making decisions, but when they become dads, they just become cholerics and all. So sometimes even our personalities mutate with different seasons. Like for me, I realize right now, I am not enjoying being a sanguine anymore. I love now being more into myself. Yeah, more into myself, and I don't know why. I think it's the season I'm in. But at those when I was 21, 22, I was this one. Yeah. I was this one. Yeah, but now I'm enjoying being more calm, being more composed, being more motherly, just well kept together. You understand? Unless when I'm in praise and worship. Yeah, that's the only moment. But I think that one should not be a problem. A personality cannot be a deal breaker. Cannot be, unless it is the aspect of intellectual, what is it say? What can we say? Mismatch. Yeah. So, yani to your level of intellect and their level is, then that one is totally different. Yeah. Any other question? Or
I have a question. For the single ladies with the kids, the
Yeah.
baby mamas. Now, supposing you meet someone and like you are in that dating season, when is the right time like to introduce the man to the child and the child, like to make them to do anything.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, the best time to tell the person you have a kid is immediately. That's the best person. The best time. You meet this person, you realize they're liking you, you're also liking them, just tell them, I have a kid. Yeah, I have a kid. So that from the word go, I don't know what you've read, but that's the best way. Yeah, immediately. But the time that they are meeting your kid should be when things are official. Yeah, now you are preparing for marriage. That's the best time. So that the kid can know now this is going to be your dad. Or even this person can know you're going to father this child. Yeah, but otherwise before then, yeah. Usiogope your aspect here. Oh, how will they bond with the child? How will those things are so instinctive, and they may end up bonding or never bonding, and that's okay. And that's okay. Yeah. So immediately let the person know that you have a kid. You don't have to tell them, how many partners you've had, your sexual history, but everything that is currently happening in your life, it is important that the person knows immediately. Yeah. So that they date you from that perspective. And then when you are talking about this person has come into your life, they have come into your life, and the moment you introduce your kid and they break the deal, that's okay, because that man was not for you. Yeah, I told you, there are men who don't mind you even having 5 kids. If they want you, they see your soul, they see your purpose, they know that you can fit into God's will for them, they'll go after you. They'll go after you. Sarah Jakes is married with 5 kids. Is it 5 kids? Yeah, it's 6 kids. It's a blended family. Come on and see how she's acing, how she is doing well, even with the husband. Their marriage is thriving with I don't know how many kids. This one coming with their kids. So, akuna ati, who will marry me after 3 marriages? Somebody can marry you. Somebody can marry you who is willing to fit into God's will for you. Yeah. Of course, there are certain things that you will have to deal with forever. There are people who will never forget that you had a kid. There are people who will never forget that you got married to this person. And that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay. But you focus on God's will for you. But the prayer I want you to be praying for your life all the time is, God, help me to marry right and marry once. Marry right and marry once. Now, we also say that you as a woman, don't chase a man. Don't chase a man. You can be in a place where you make yourself available without chasing a man. Chasing is not for women. Yeah, women must be found. And most psychologists say even men are not supposed to chase women, they're supposed to pursue. Chasing looks like it's lustful, Yeah, pursuit means you are looking to woo the woman and then get them as your wife. So never chase a man. Be honest, imply interest, but wait for the game. In fact, create the game. So creating the game just means that be this Wonder Woman. That's why I was telling you, you must know how to have emotional intelligence in terms of, can you sustain a conversation with a man for 3 hours on chat? How many of you can? Hi, sister. This sister. Yeah, and this sister. And this sister. But that's the way you make the game interesting. And then you don't just put yourself out there, everything at once. Yeah, let him pursue. After every season, never be a woman who is waiting to be married, preparing for marriage, and you can't afford 1 hour every week for your man. For your man. No, a date lazima. And you try, when you're going for a date, don't go to eat. Go and just take tea so that you have time to talk until you have nothing to share about. Yeah, talk. Engage the man. Make the man akitoka hapo and feel I have been. Psychologically they say a man becomes monogamous when you are a woman that is able to trigger something called vasopressin. It's a hormone that makes the man want to be better, to pursue and to chase, go get money, make this girl happy, there is this woman who is releasing vasopressin hormone in me. Yeah, that's how the man becomes monogamous. Otherwise, if you're a woman who is just available and very nice, and there is another woman at the workplace that is releasing vasopressin to the man tends to cheat with that woman and leave you alone. So you must be a woman that can be able to intrigue versus pressing in a man. Like you are able to keep the man up to his game. Like that man cannot catch a break because of this woman. Yeah. How you are becoming, who you are becoming, how you're pursuing your vision, the kind of relationships and networks you're creating, the kind of relevance you're having in the society. Let me tell you, those things alone just make your man be at the top of his game. Yeah, because he wants to please you, he wants to match up with you. So make sure you do that. So never fear any rejection in a man. Just know is redirection. I answer that question again. If you're getting into a man who says, I will not marry you because of this and this, just know it's redirection. That's not rejection. It's redirection. Yeah, clearly you are not for me. Next. Yeah, next. Yeah. Then we say that we cannot be damsel in distress. That phenomenon where you look too needy. You are too needy. You're too needy. So the first day you're meeting this man on a date, you're already saying, mimi yake nimepitia, nimefanya ni. Let me tell you, if that's my son, namwambia huyo muache immediately. Because they are too needy. They are too needy. You are there to meet their needs. Yeah, you are not there to share life. You are there to meet the needs of this person emotionally. So even you as a woman, even if you've been battered with life, you've been so hurt and pain, those are not the stories you talk the first day. In fact, the first day you are on a date, make the man know the interesting stuffs about your life until they want to know you more. Like this must be a happy and fun woman. Don't start, oh, mimi hata kulelewa, mimi hata kwanza, go away. Even if a man comes with those vibes, go away. Yeah, that man is too needy. So don't be a damsel in distress. Also, we talked about this, but I want to emphasize, growth is the greatest killer of familiarity in any woman. Growth is the greatest killer of familiarity in any woman. So give your husband or your man the gift of your growth. I've said after every 3 years, get into something new or challenging. After every 10 years, every woman must evolve. Just be totally a different person. After every 3 years, just evolve into something different. Now, any question that I have not answered before we do our take home? So we are going to answer this question, and this question comes that what happens when you have been in a good relationship, a relationship that is celibate until marriage, and then 1 week to the wedding, the man comes and says, after all, we are sure, so can we, do this thing? So what we're trying to say, that cannot be a deal breaker for a relationship. We are saying you can handle the man's weakness. Yeah, you can be very emotionally intelligent to see how to divert his attention. And especially 1 week to the wedding, you even don't have time. I mean, there is so much, so much adrenaline. There is so much corticosteroids because of the stress of the event. I mean, you can easily redirect his energy back to what is important per that season, what is priority at that season. And also, this is why we always encourage, it is good when you as people who are dating also love accountability. Just hang around people, hang around open spaces. You don't have to lock yourself in alone rooms because you are putting yourself into temptation and you don't want to fall. Now, another question that I would want us to answer is, what if you are dating someone and their family is not comfortable with the kind of your religious background that you're in? So you're dating someone and your family is not comfortable with the religious background this person is coming from. So how do you handle this? I feel we also, as mature girls and men, must know that our relationship with parents also has seasons. And Ephesians 6 says that children obey your parents in the Lord and then honor your father and mother. So when we are children, our work is to obey. And it says parents, obey. But when you grow to a level where now you see this is a father and a mother, at that season is what we call honor. So all of you are in the season where you are to honor your parents and not obey your parents. So obedience means I have no negotiation about it, no argument about it, whatever you have said. If my dad tells me, Patricia, go, I just pack my things and go. But when I'm in a season of honor is, Dad, I'm kindly handling this right now, I'll be able to join you in a few. So I am still respectful, but I also have freedom to do what I feel is right for me. So that is the level of honor. Now, when you are getting into marriage, you going and taking your spouse to your parent is a sign of honor. It is a sign of honor. But obedience is when your parents tells you, no, this man is good, but I don't like their color, I don't like their tribe, and so you guys cannot get married. I mean, that one is something you can negotiate about. And so when you're in such a situation, you bring in mentors, you bring in pastors or people that are on their level to negotiate for you. Because there are certain conversations that you cannot negotiate for yourself, but people of a certain caliber can negotiate for you. So you can involve somebody who is a close friend of your dad or a pastor or a mentor. They can negotiate on your behalf when you are in such a situation. And then when you are dating with someone and you want to make it now official, the first person that must be aware is your parents before your pastors. Before your pastors. Why? That's for me. I don't know about what you girls believe, but that's for me. Why? I don't want someone that my pastor will accept and then my parents reject, and then we have to go again, another process. Pastors should be the last people when you are taking it into the marriage level. So the first people to know are actually your parents. So that if your parents have consent, it is so easier for pastors to consent. Unless you come to me and I tell you, no, I know the history of this man. This man is already married, is lying to you. That's different. Me as a pastor, that's my obligation. But me as a pastor, I have no power and authority to tell you not to marry this person or not to date this person. I can counsel, and in counseling, I don't make the decision for you. I put the parameters on the table. These are the advantages or disadvantages. Or this is how I know this person, or this is how this issue is intricate. So if you get married, this is what you will be served. Like I remember someone sometime the other year, I'll just share it here without disclosing who they are for the purposes of learning. So they came to me and told me, so Pastor Pat, there is this particular person I've been chasing, I've been pursuing for like 3 years. 3 years. So I told them, okay, so what is the predicament? Alafu ananiambia, now, the day this girl got into accepting my proposal is the day she opens up and tells me, by the way, I'm positive. Yeah, I'm positive. And I was not able to share with you. Why? Because I was so scared you will leave me or you will lose interest in me. Yet me, I also like you. And I was like, that's quite unfair. Though it's quite unfair. But I'm so happy that before even he went to the parents, came to me first. And so what I did, I told them, these are the parameters. When you have discordant couples, yeah, you can get married, you can live well as a discordant couple, but you will pay the price. What if this your spouse, God forbid, dies in the next 3 years? Yeah, you willingly chose widowhood early. Yeah, just because you made a choice of marrying this person. Or what if you also contract HIV? It cannot be 100%. What will happen? And then what about your children? So all those intricacies, but ultimately I left them to make their own decision. So I don't know what is it up to today, but I told them once they are done with parents, and me as a pastor, my work is also to inform the parents of the situation of this person. Because I cannot officiate a wedding where parents are not aware of such a critical matter like health of the other person. That one you cannot say that, I am deciding, and then you, pastor, keep it a secret. I can lose my license. I will have to inform your parents because that's so critical. In case of anything, your parents must be aware. So what I'm trying to tell you, we pastors, we play a key role. We can advise you, we can encourage you. You are free to even share with your pastor, there is this particular person I have in my life, or nimeona huyu mtu, so what do you think about them? But ultimately, as we are the last just before marriage. Yeah, your parents should be the first. Is that in order? Yes. Any other question? I answered everything. Okay. So we said that when a man is looking for a woman, they want a woman who can give them rest. So you want to be a woman that provides rest for this man. When they come into your home, do they find rest? Or when they come to your home is when they have to keep explaining where they're coming from, what they're doing, you know, all those things. Oh, I just remembered something actually, your question about the woman being the one with most of the money and the man does not have the money. So this is what I advise women. If you are in a situation where you are going to marry a man that is earning less than you, define responsibility well as early as possible. As early as possible. And I said, for every woman, Superwoman is dead. In fact, she has never lived. She has never lived. Superwoman is dead. No woman gets into marriage to care for someone. She always gets married to be cared for, to be taken care of. And we said, issue like rent, school fees for children, that one as early as possible. Let the man be responsible. If possible, you can share the responsibilities. But these are his kids, and this is his house. Then now you can take care of the other, let me say budgets. The other budgets, because you are a helper. You are a helper. Otherwise, you will feel the burden. And nowadays, most men are choosing to stay at home because women wamejituma. And it is us who has defined that. And imagine we are defining that for our daughters. I have no problem a woman who chooses to stay at home, take care of kids, and be a housewife. But I have a problem of a man who decides to stay at home and take care of kids. No, that is disorder. That is disorder. Even if the woman is earning 1 million, that is disorder. Now, they say when the woman is the one always going out, working hard, it inatoa something we call testosterone hormone in the woman. So the woman becomes a go-getter, someone that, goes out, wants to lead. You just want to lead. Even when you know you have a leader, you just want to lead because the testosterone in you, your masculine energy is at work. And when the man stays at home and begins to take care of the baby, it generates oxytocin hormone, which is the bonding hormone. The bonding hormone is what now makes you as a mother, you never want to leave your baby. Yeah, even breastfeeding, you will realize for those who have never gotten pregnant, it will be a hassle. Even you like it. You don't want to stop it because of that oxytocin hormone. So when the man stays at home, also they begin to bond and the oxytocin is more. So it kills the testosterone, the masculine energy of wanting to go. So they become more feminine, protective, nurturers. So if you are a woman who is making more and you are the one going out and the man is at home taking care of the kids, that's it. You have exchanged the roles. So you'll have issues with submission. You will have issues with, you don't feel taken care of, so you feel overwhelmed and just, it's overbearing. Yeah, it's overbearing. So never be in that situation. That's why choose wisely. If the man is not earning enough, just share roles and say, by the way, rent mimi. Yeah. So iyo itamutuma mwenyewe. Yeah, atajituma mwenyewe. Otherwise, atakuwa nakwambia si nimesort bill, nime refill gas, and you just feel the burden. So imagine even building a house, you're the one who will go and take maybe the mortgage and the loan and pay it. So your man will never buy for you a car. You will be the one to buy a car, and then he will be driving your car. It's not bad. You can buy your husband a car, but make sure she too can also buy you a car. Just make sure. Yeah, he can be in that position. So why am I strict on this? And I don't want to even mince my words. Is because there is no woman who goes into marriage to care for anyone. They go into marriage to be taken care of. And 10 years down the line, you will come back with a case in the office for counseling. Yet you made that choice yourself. Another thing, let the man take care of his kids. Okay? If you get married and you have kids, let the man take care of his kids. Nisikuone umebeba watoto umepeleka kwa sister yako. When the kids are there in the house and you're married, it motivates the man. Like the man has something called their project based, okay? They're project based. And something has to be challenging them every day. Every day. So for example, anajua, at the end of the month, there is rent. At the end of the month, there is school fees. So the more anaona huyu mtoto hapo, na mtoto anajua, daddy yangu, nitaenda, anything I want, I'll tell my daddy. So you are never putting the man in a place where vasopressing hormone is coming out every day because the kids are not there. Alafu umejituma, unatoka kwanza umepika, so the man just sleeps and is happy, and then you're wondering, why is he even ever going to pay fees for my kids? It's because the kids are not there. Someone else is taking care of his responsibility. The man takes care of his own kids. Unamlelea hapo. Yeah, you can pay the nanny. You work hard, you pay the nanny because he's helping you. But let the man take care of his kids. Yes. Anything? Can we conclude the conversation? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been so nice having you with us here. These conversations take place every Wednesday on our WhatsApp groups. If you would like to be a part of this wonderful movement and groups, you can always contact us on the numbers on the screen. Then we will be able to fix you in a WhatsApp group. And also, I would want you to know, if you are a woman that you feel stuck, you've gone through difficult experiences in your dating season or your dating period, I want you to know that there is help for you. You can contact me on the numbers on the screen, 225 340 0715 225 340, so I can be able to reach out to you and help you heal. I can coach you also on how to navigate intricate issues of dating. Also, if you are a divorced woman, you need to know that God is not a God of the second chance only. He's a God of many chances. There is help for you. There is hope for you. Get healing, access as much healing as possible from the trauma of past relationships, and also put yourself out there, open yourself, and get back to the dating economy. I believe that this is not just the only conversation we'll have, but many more conversations that we'll have, because they are shaping the culture of our generations. The course you draw out of your dating life will benefit your generations and generations to come. And so today, this is all from us, and I want every woman in the room to just look at the camera, and then we sign off. We sign off to the people that are watching us online. Kindly look at that camera and just let's tell them bye. See you again.